Hey everybody! So this is going to be one of my instructional videos on how to use our product, or how I use our product. And so I'm just going to do the base face as the title alludes to. So here I just have my compact that has my foundation and my two concealers, and you can get this in the teen collection, or you can just put together your own palette. And my favorite method of application is with the Blenderful. It comes in this really cute little container that you can multi-purpose when you're done. It could be a brush holder. Hold all your treasures. And it comes in a mesh case that you can store it in when you are done, and then that way it'll dry out and it won't get moldy or any of that other nasty stuff on it. This is what that kind of looks like. And my Blenderful that I use is getting a little bit worn out, so I'm going to have to replace that very soon. Recommended is cleaning, replacing every 3 months. I usually try to be good about cleaning mine every week, but sometimes I'm a little bit lax there. So base face for me, usually this one here, concealer 2 for my skin tone, and then right now I'm using olive 1 for my foundation shade. I go between olive 1 and Gina Beige, just depending on how tan I am. And so then I'm going to show you here, I'm going to use the pointed end of my Blenderful, and because the foundation, concealer, etc. is so pigmented, it's approximately 50% pigment, you don't really need that much. So you're not going to want to scoop into any of these, because then you'll have way too much product and you will not be happy with the results. So I just kind of dab, and usually I kind of do my under eyes. I always have kind of battled adult acne and all of that fun jazz, but I don't usually take the time to do any of the spot concealing there because my foundation usually covers it to my liking. But yeah, you can do under eye dark circles, acne, as I just said, and then also if you have any discoloration, hyperpigmentation, anything like that that you want to conceal, you can either do it like I am with just the little brush. If you want more of a heavy concealer, you can use a concealer brush and kind of dip a little bit in there and dab, and then blend with the Blenderful. Or just leave it and blend it while you do your foundation too. I love doing the easy way. There's no need to make it harder than it needs to be. So then here I'm going to show you, I just kind of very, very light pressure, do about a half turn, quarter turn, somewhere in that area, just to get my first little layer. Usually I don't go back for more, sometimes I do, it just depends on how I want to have coverage that day. And you blend it in. Sometimes on my nose I'll go in with the pointed end with foundation, but most of the time I don't. Mostly it's just using the little handy dandy Blenderful. And if you prefer to use a brush, a buffer brush or foundation brush, those also work. Those will give you a little bit more of a full coverage, and I found that with the Blenderful or with any other sponge, that those kind of give you more of that airbrushed natural look, at least the way that I have done it. And that's usually just a really fast, natural application for me. But like I said, many ways to do it. And I will say I did start with the primer spray, with the first base primer spray, which is amazing. But we will save that for another video. So there you can see, just quick, just kind of gives you a nice even base face for your next stage. And blending is pretty fun too. So if you'll remember, there were two concealer shades. And sometimes I use them both and sometimes I don't. Today I will just to demonstrate. So the bottom one, Concealer 2 for my skin tone, is the actual concealer. That's what you'll use for the spots, for the dark circles and all of that. The top one, I have Concealer 0. Now that one you can use to highlight. You can use it to have an eyelid primer if you want some super extra staying power, or if you need a little extra coverage to have that blank canvas for whatever shadow look you're doing that day. So my basic, if I am doing just the highlight stage, I'll do a little bit under my eyes and then I kind of do a V here. You can also do that with your concealer if you're doing a heavy concealer, because that versus just under your eye will give you more of that natural look. And you can kind of see already between the two sides that that does brighten it up. Just a wee bit, makes you look a little more awake, which, as you mamas out there know, we can never have too much help in that department. And you'll go just down the very bridge of your nose. You don't really want to get on the sides with that. And I usually kind of fan out on my forehead when I do it. A little bit on the Cupid's bow, a little bit underneath. And then if I find that I need to blend that anymore, I do. You can also, if you want or need a little bit more, you can put a little bit just on your brow bone, and that makes for a very nice highlight as well. So that was just a super quick tutorial on how to do your base face, your foundation, and here I just used my palette with the Botanical Foundation and the concealer. And then I used my Blenderful for this particular demonstration for absolutely everything that I did. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you, or you can send me a message. And I hope everybody has a good day and that you learned a little something today. I'll chat with you later. Bye!